Blue, they don't want you. Come here. Blue, your buddies are MIA. Blue. 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 The hell are you? I don't know where the hell this dog is. Let me go like, oh shit, I don't know what the hell am I doing. I'm trying to focus on this dog because he's barking, but you know, it's daytime over here, so it doesn't matter. But he's trying to call his friends. Let me go to the YouTube app. And I put it in my YouTube link. Watch some Chase Community live streams and stuff. Let's go to your channel. Your channel. Channel. What now you're doing? What's up, gay Duncan? Red and white. You know that's where the way we roll, brother. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I'm gonna get Jason Indian or Candy in here. You know, I told her I kind of talked before I went live. But yeah, I don't know what the hell my dog is. She's being stupid. Blue! Oh, that's him. He's past my car, so I was sitting down so I couldn't see him. Okay. I'm setting up my guitar. They still can't tell. I don't want to break the neck from the pressure bending against the neck and putting, you know, the whole wood putting pressure on the neck and whatnot. So I put it down on the couch. Let's see if Candy comes on in here. And to make groove like this too. Make this something to make this. I don't think I've ever gone live outside, have I? I don't think I have. I think I've mainly gone live inside. It's nice when, you know, when you can see everything, you know, instead of when it's, you know, dark and you can't see nothing, you know what I mean? I think it's just good. But what's up, gay Delkin? I don't know. Candy! What's up?
Hey, Tyler.
How you doing?
I haven't even brushed my hair today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just chilling outside. There's that smile.
I made breakfast though.
You said what?
I made breakfast. I made some really good scrambled eggs and the coffee was so good. It was like what I needed, a good cup of coffee. So I made breakfast and I was a functioning human, but I still need to brush my hair at least.
You still look good, Candy.
Thanks. So what are you doing outside?
I'm just chilling because I didn't want to play the guitar inside because my buddy was trying to sleep. So I came out here. Yeah.
Fun stuff. Are you live on your YouTube right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying not to be salty.
It's all good.
It's very hard not to be. I am actually considering like disappearing from here for a while and working on something else instead, because I think it's a better idea mentally, and it'd be good to just step away. Because I mean, last night showed me that it doesn't matter what you try and do for this community, they're gonna just use you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are you still working on your own treasure hunt?
I mean, I'm gonna kind of like delay it a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna focus on me for a little bit. You know what I mean? Until I got my life together and everything else. You know. So.
I think everyone in this damn community needs to do that. Everyone just needs to like step away. I mean, I was talking about that emerald ring and my connection with the Fisher King because it's just like the research I've been doing for years. And just because I talk about, you know, my theories and my opinions on this doesn't mean like I'm trying to actually get people to believe me. It's just I wanted to share, like everyone says, oh, you're keeping stuff from the community. I'm like, okay, well, if you want to know my research, I'll tell it to you. And then when I say it, they get upset and say I'm trying to spin this like false narrative. And I'm like, look, just because I'm one person doesn't mean you have to listen to me. Just because I say I think the story's in New Mexico isn't saying that the solution's in New Mexico. I'm finding little connections to Fenn where it alludes to the fact that his story is all about New Mexico and something that he was looking for in New Mexico. And everyone just like lost it yesterday. Like it sucked. It sucked. I lost like a lot of friends from that shit show last night, and it sucked. So
Yeah. I mean, it's your own belief, you know. I mean, you don't have to like persuade people to believe what you believe. You know what I mean? It's your own
that's
title
what
of
I'm trying.
opinion.
I'm not trying to do that, and people are like insinuating that I am, and I'm like, no.
No.
All I do is like the whole point of my channel is a venting channel. I go on there to
Yeah.
talk about my ideas and my research, my theories, because I can't talk about it with like DJ or any of my friends because they're smart and they're not wrapped up in this bullshit. And so I'm like, okay, I jump on all the time. The other day, you watched me make scrambled eggs. Like, do you think someone who was trying to market their channel and become a celebrity on fucking Netflix, they would show themselves making eggs with no makeup? Like, no.
No.
It's not fair. And just because I'm like being considered, this is the key point. I'm being considered to be in a documentary. Considered, not fully on board, considered. Everyone's losing their ever loving mind saying you're spewing this false narrative because that's what the documentary wants you to do. And I'm like, no, that's not it at all. I'm
No,
pretty
it's
sure
not.
the documentarians think I'm crazy.
I had one documentarian reach out to me, but I was like, "No, I'm good."
You're smart. It's not fun, especially
No.
because I find out right after I get this person in the documentary yesterday. Like we had a Zoom call and everything, and I was all so excited. I later that night find out that they were trashing me behind my back and trying to set me up with that email. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I got you in the documentary, and now you use me up and spit me out. That's fun. So it's like that's whatever. Like I don't know. I don't know. I really fucking don't know. I miss talking about aliens for hours. Yeah.
That's what me and you differ. I like my zombies. You like your aliens.
Well, I mean, remember when we used to like jump on your channel with Street and we would just like sit here for hours talking about aliens and there was
I
like
remember.
zero effing drama. We were just
Yeah.
being weirdos and like conspiracy theorists, and it was great.
Yeah, I let y'all do it.
Like honestly, if he didn't do what he did to Christy, I would be like, Street, get on here right now. Let's talk aliens. But I can't. I can't do that. So it's just like, let me just sit here and be miserable. Yay. It's not fun. And I know Street's probably lurking. He's probably listening right now.
He's gonna tell him where he is.
I know he's up to something. I should do something like, productive, like watch a TV series on Netflix rather than just be on Zoom. Salty. So salty. Hold on. What happened on the stream? Okay, that's weird. Love when people message you and then they take forever to respond back. Like, what?
A messenger or elsewhere?
Just Messenger.
Oh,
I'm
you know, that's
debating if
fine
I
right
should
away.
just tell someone to take my phone away from me. I was telling DJ earlier, I'm like, I'm gonna throw this damn thing in the pool. Oh, they're saying, okay, so that's what they were talking about in chat last night. So they're saying that this one man on TikTok claimed to have seen Brian, the piece of shit boyfriend that won't help find his girlfriend. Allegedly, they saw him in Bullwinkle's in West Yellowstone on August 26th.
Wait, who's Brian? Was he part of the chase or something like that?
No, Brian's that stupid boyfriend that went on a road trip with his girlfriend Gabby, and she's now missing. She's been missing for a while, and like everyone's posting about it. The FBI are looking. They're actually like looking for her over in Wyoming by the Snake River right now, which isn't like in my consideration. I was talking about this last night with Huli. I think the area in which they're describing, especially where the camps are, it's not that far off from the zone of death, which is like allegedly where you can murder someone and get away with it because there's like not really much jurisdiction. Like it's population of 0, so there would be no jurors. And if you have no jurors, you wouldn't be able to do a prosecution.
Yeah.
So like we've all been trying to work on it and like piece it together. So like Christy was working on it, I was working on it. Like Kathy and Facebook was working on it. Like the whole world's working on it.
Is that what y'all working on?
Yeah, because it's like it's so sad because this girl, she like fixed up this nice van with her boyfriend. This is her van, and they went traveling on a road trip for like X amount of months, and then I guess like the last day that she posted, her and her boyfriend got in a huge fight where there was like a domestic dispute. Like they called the cops. So the cops were like, you guys need to separate. So allegedly, the last time her parents heard back from her was a text on, I think it was August 30th. August 30th. And it said like no service in the Teton Mountains or something.
Yeah.
So the mom doesn't even know if that was actually the daughter. So the last time she actually spoke to the daughter was like August 26th. And her last post was August 25th. And so today the cops just updated and said that they finally have the tracking for the phones. And what sucks is the boyfriend Brian took the van from Gabby, and it looks like he left her in Wyoming, like in the middle of nowhere, and drove home. And I think his house is in Florida. I can't remember. And so it would take him like 60 hours to drive home. So there's no way he could have been with her on 30th and made it home the next day in Florida. So when the cops were trying to get him to cooperate, he refused. He lured up, and now he's missing. And unfortunately, he's not considered a suspect, only a person of interest. So the cops like don't have a reason to be following and keeping tabs on him. So they're like looking for him now just because the family contacted the cops and they were like, oh, okay, we haven't seen him since Tuesday. This is like kind of suspicious. So he went missing and he's hiding from the cops basically. And his girlfriend hasn't been seen or heard from since allegedly August 30th. And he just like left her in the freaking middle of nowhere. And like, I don't even know how many states away. So it's pretty messed up. A lot of people unfortunately think that he may have done something where she's like, you're going to be looking for a body. Or my opinion is he abandoned her and he's running and hiding because he's guilty by association of abandonment. So him leaving her out there in the middle of nowhere basically alludes to the fact that even if he didn't, personally do something to her, he's guilty by association because he left her there with like no money, no car. Like it was her car, he took it. And if there was like a bad man or bad someone that found her, it's like it's all on him because he left her out there. So it's a sad story. Like they were going live yesterday filming in front of the house, and there was like hundreds of people just in front of his house with signs like screaming at the parents and saying like, where is she? And like it's pretty crazy.
I want to know if the parents ever did, for the parents of Gabby ever did a background check on the dude.
I don't think everyone does background checks on like who their children date.
Well, I know my now ex, her whole family did a whole background check on me, and I was clean. So
yeah,
I just found it weird. I was like, okay, why do I need to know this?
wait, I can't find your channel. Is this under the little engine that could?
Yeah.
Why can't I find it? Hold on. I'm trying to see if there's chat.
I didn't see if there's chat. So that's my channel. So close the window tab.
I can see like one person in chat probably screaming. Okay, today. Wait, no, not today. It'll be channel.
RJ Duncan Cameron at 4:43.
I can't find your channel.
I got you. Give me a second. I'm gonna send it to you via Messenger.
Okay. It's funny. I was talking to Adam earlier because I was asking his advice on something, and he was like, "ND, don't go live today." And I was like, because you said not to do it, I'm gonna do it. And then I was trying not to do it, and then you're like, "Hey, want to go live with me on my channel?" I'm like, technically, I'm not going live on my channel. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Let's see. Damn it, I gotta log in. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find a way around this. Share. Copy link. Okay, I found a way around it. What's up, Godalkin? Where's red and white? I woke up this morning and all I can say, what in the hell? Someone invented the internet. Oh, hey, Jeff. Jeffson.
Who's Jeff?
JK Pioneer.
Oh, see, I don't know the real names in real life with all these YouTube stuff.
I know that because I met him in Wyoming and Montana when we were the Fun Finale. We got to hang out with JK Pioneer and everybody. Howdy, y'all. What do you want to talk about today, Tyler?
I'm down for anything, honestly.
I don't want to take over your channel, so I'm just trying to be the guest over here.
I don't mind it. I don't mind.
I don't know. Like, it sucks because I want to sit here and talk about, my theory about the ring and like the Arthurian lore. And I'm like, but every time I do, I get crucified for it.
I'll take the fall.
No, you won't get in trouble for it. Well, actually, no, you might get an earful from who later for having me on your channel.
It's gonna happen either way. I mean, you're already on it, so and she got me her text messages, so.
Well, you could always just stop the stream and delete the video, and it never happened.
No, I don't care. She knows I'm staying neutral. She knows it.
I'm curious to hear what Godalkin knows, because like Godalkin and X Marks the Spot, Lucy, Little Rock, like a few people in chat, they've been kind of alluding to the same stuff I've been talking about for just like some of the things. So I'm curious to hear what like Godalkin says, because I'm gonna be truthful. So when Godalkin used to try and talk about certain stuff and say things, because I didn't find it out and find this out on my own beforehand, I didn't really pay much attention to what he said because I was just like, whatever, I don't know who you are, you say whatever. But now it's like I'm starting to understand bits and pieces of what he says, and I'm like, okay, I feel like now that I know stuff, if he were to say and talk about certain things again, I would actually be able to understand and comprehend it. So it's just, I'm curious. I don't know. I woke up this morning and all I can say, oh no, I listened to it all. JK Pioneer, I'm pretty sure you probably like have to submit us to your shrink or something and be like, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah, I hopped on Susie's channel like I guess late, and I was like, what the hell is going on? She was just going in. I think she didn't have anybody in her Zoom called in. It was her first Zoom live stream she did, and she was just going
she's done
in.
Zooms before with people.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the one she did last night where she was just going spastic and just going off. It was in her first Zoom meeting, whatever.
Well, that's like half the reason why I was just so over it, because it sucked to see her do it. Of all the people, like if Greg said that stuff or like Luli said that stuff, it wouldn't have fazed me. But you sit there and you hear your friends or people you think are your friends say stuff like that about you. That's where it digs deep. So kind of just, I don't know if you saw my post earlier, but I'm kind of like F everything and F everyone.
I think I pretty much saw it. You talk about your post on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm never gonna share shit I find out ever again. Lazy ass leeches can figure it out yourself.
Yeah, I was sitting in rehab over at my workplace over in the hospital, and I was trying to figure out why I couldn't post anything on YouTube, and watch the videos, so you have to have 1K subscribers to be able to do it. I was like, well, shit, I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. And then one day I like discovered it. And I was like, you could post things. And so I started like writing stuff. Like I'll post recipes or pictures of the wings that I made. And then I'll just go on rants. It's like a little fun diary. And then unfortunately, who found it? And then she like went live a couple of days ago and just like spent hours going over everything I was saying on her channel and like going over my pictures and everything. And I was like, this is kind of scary. Like, please stop doing that. Also, it's like I rant about the most random crap, so why would you even care to read about it?
Right.
I'm like, I don't know if you saw the pictures I've posted before, because I'll be scrolling through Facebook and I'll see these like funny pictures or like memes. So then I'll put them and I'll post them on the community page, and I'm like, this is hilarious. It's dark humor, but it's hilarious. I'm like, no, nobody needs to really see that. It's just fun inside jokes for myself. Yeah, JK Pioneer. I agree, but I'm just over it. So, want to talk about aliens and conspiracies that don't pertain to the chase?
Go for it.
Well, did you see? Okay, I forgot what the name of the glass is. It's like this type of glass that's injected with this like very expensive special dye. And allegedly, this stuff is what's supposed to like help you see stuff that's not visible to the naked eye. And people on TikTok have been purchasing this glass and like recording stuff with their video, right? And it's like you see nothing, but then they put the glass over the lens, and all of a sudden you see like these planes or these like weird ships just like hovering in the air. But then they take the glass off of the lens, and it's like there's nothing there. But then you put the glass back on, it's like it's there. So it's like it's really weird how all this stuff's starting to pop up, on social media and like on TikTok and stuff. I'm like, oh, more conspiracies to look into. I love it. No. Let's see. JK Pioneer retracted. Yeah, JK Pioneer, you don't want to be on the wrath of that topic. Hide the evidence.
I'm already gonna take the wrath. I know it's coming. It's just a matter of when it happens.
Wait, what?
I said I'm already gonna be the wrath of all of it. When it's only a matter of time until she sees all this, and I get a text message from who.
Does she watch her channel though?
I don't think so. I don't know though. I have no idea.
Then I don't think she'll ever know. They live glasses? They live glasses? What? Live glasses? No, I think the name of the glass was something else. I feel bad though. I wish I could bring like all my subscribers over to you, Tyler, so that like when you went live, you have all the crazy numbers in the chat. But then it's kind of a good thing that you don't, because the more people that watch you and are in your chat room, like you're not guaranteed to just have the positive people. You mostly have like negative naysayers and like trolls. So I would say be glad you don't have that many people. So you could just go live and talk about whatever and just not be judged for it.
Exactly.
I'm just like the movie. They live. I was like, what are you talking about, Jake Pioneer? What? I woke up this morning. Oh no, it's the same thing. Godolkin, what are you doing? Tell me your secrets. I'm curious. I want to know now. I remember the last time I talked to Godolkin, which was like February 2019. He was talking about a solution about artwork, and it was like years it took him to connect and understand all of it, but it was like I think pieces of artwork. I think that's what I remember. Don't know what to do with it though. Oh, let me see.
I haven't talked to your buddy in a while.
Oh.
Amy.
Oh, Gwen?
Yeah.
I swear, Amy is like one of the most amazing people that I've ever met in the community, and I freaking adore her.
She had me going down the rabbit hole.
I love her also because she entertains my crazy rabbit holes, and then I'll entertain her crazy rabbit holes. And together, when we're on the phone, we discover the craziest shit. And we're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, are we crazy for thinking this? Like,
Yeah, she made me realize that Shiloh was not actually like blood related to boyfriend, more so via marriage.
seriously?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought he was more so because we originally talked about maybe Shiloh being a decoy and how he maybe brought the property where boyfriend hid his treasure. And that's when she brought that up.
Huh. I'd
Yeah,
be careful about that because I know it's really easy to like connect certain things, and then if you're trying to fill in the blanks and you're like really wanting an answer. So I'm like, but then again, I'm not really good at researching and connecting people. I'm more good at like connecting back history and stories. I'm not good at people and businesses. I think, you know, Amy's really good at that and Queen Anne's really good at that.
oh, then oh. I tried to get Amy on a certain something, but she couldn't find anything on it. I was trying to get a certain person's email so I can message them and see if they can confirm it. And if they confirm it, then obviously I go live and put it out there publicly. But I haven't gotten an email for that certain person. So
Wait, hold on, Tyler. I need to jump off real fast. Are you gonna stay live and do your talking? Because I'll jump back on. Just give me like 10 minutes.
that's fine.
Okay, I will be back. See if you can get Godalkin to come on.
That'd be dope because I've never talked to him face to face.
Do it. I know he will. Just
Yeah.
tell him. Let's talk New Mexico, and then I'll jump in and just give me like 10 minutes.
I will. If he jumps in, me and him are gonna probably talk about Cody Wyoming and shit like that.
Go talk about Joseph Henry Sharp Cabin until I get back.
That's good.
Okay, I'll be back.
Let's see. I'm gonna get my YouTube. Pull it up. You know what? I'm gonna get my charger. I'm gonna get my computer. Yeah, I can see the comments. I'm gonna get my charger. JJ again. I'm gonna get my charger. I might hop my computer. I don't know, but I don't want to be too loud. Somebody's trying to sleep. Okay, Dale can definitely hop in. First, let me my charger. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna touch my computer. I'll just hop on YouTube and have it in the window. I'm intrigued. Where is? Oh, here it is. Oh, yes. Okay. Alrighty. Let me go like this. Sweet. Cause let's see. I'm gonna go. Put my stuff in. Oh, sweet. Oh, you're actually gonna hop in. Oh, I'd love to see you hop in, Dale. I don't think you've ever hopped in mine. I was top Cody on the shark cabin and how it relates to the chase. So I have a uh, theory on why the shark cabin is involved in the sin and why Forrest Finn donated it. And I've kind of mentioned on Susie's channel before. But then yet again, what do I know? Because it could be used for a whole different purpose, just as a show off. I don't know. Sitting here playing with line away for Gato. And did I? Let's see. Oh, it's already in the chat. Okay, we put the links to it. Know if it has others for y'all or not. Because I know sometimes they'll post it, but like it'll be way up there instead of like as a tag, what do you want to call it? So JK Pioneer, what you up to, brother? I'm sitting here blowing the lighter. And how do I? Okay, so it'll be in it there. Okay. Okay. So I want to wait till. Oh, there he is. What's up, Jay Delkin? What's up?
Hey Tyler, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Holy shit, this gonna be fun. So what's your idea behind the chest possibly being found in Cody? Okay. Okay. Just so you know, Gay Delkin, you're on mute. I don't know if you knew that or not. Is he in chat? He's probably in chat. No. All right. Any insight? Don't you have a forest fin in the shark cabin, Gay Delkin? Besides what you've already told me in the past? Because I'm curious if Forrest Fenn was going to use it for the sake of putting the treasure chest in there as like a exhibit, and maybe even finding some way to incorporate Eric Stone into it somehow. She's gonna be like 30 minutes from now or later.
Let's sign in. Please log into Zoom. Hold on a second.
What you got going over there? Okay, Delkin. It's still connecting to audio. It should be good now. Yeah, the audio working a second ago. It's still saying connecting. Still can't hear anything. It's weird. You just did something. It's on mute.
See it. There we go.
Sweet, I can hear you.
All right, now we got my act together.
Yeah. So, do you believe the chest was found in Cody somewhere?
I strongly believe that he hid it in Cody. As for it was found in Cody, I don't think so. It's just the way I see it. I mean, it's just Caddy mentioned that my solution was based on art, and it's always been that way since about 2013. And so I one of the lines to the poem actually has a sharp painting in it, and actually there's two paintings in the poem that if you use your imagination, you'd understand. If I showed you the painting, matter of fact, I do have the first. Let me get the paintings right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's a nice painting.
This is a Thomas Moran painting.
Yeah,
Okay, let me get it closer.
that's nice.
All right. This one's called Sunset at the Laguna. And this painting, if you really look at it, it has a church in the background at the Laguna Pebble, there west of Albuquerque. And Thomas Moran painted that back in 1901. But Thomas Moran was also famous for painting of the Yellowstone area, especially all the waterfalls, just a variety of. He's done, I don't know how many paintings, I've never counted, but he's done a lot of paintings in Yellowstone. But this particular painting, Sunset Laguna, if you really look at it, it's Ascension #1 at the Buffalo Bill Museum. It's the very first one that was cataloged. And that's where I got, as I have gone alone in there with my treasures bold. And that particular, if you really think about that painting, you know, and this is just parts of my solution, I'm not sure at all. As I've gone alone in there and with my treasures bold, the word, the I represents the one. And if you go into somewhere alone, if you take your family, especially like the church, you go alone in there to speak to God or pray. And with my treasures bold, and he uses in the line "and with my treasures bold." On the foreground of that painting is the Pueblo Indians are selling their wares, and so you just got it tells a story in that particular painting. And then when I was visiting with Fan in October of 2016, he wanted to hear my solution. I explained to him, he says, "I'll hear your solution, but I'm not going to say anything." So I told him what the first line represented, what is that painting. He immediately stops me and says, "I used to own that painting." And I thought, well, that's interesting. And then I went on with the rest of the second stanza of the poem, where it talks about begin at where. And so those three words, begin at where, is just telling you somewhere in this poem is the answer. It's not going to be the answer. I give you title to the goal. It's not going to be the answer to the poem, but it says begin at where. And so now you got warm waters halt and take it in the canyon down, not far, but too far to walk. That's a Sharp painting, a Joseph H. Sharp painting. And this painting right here,
Yes, he has that in one of his scrapbooks.
well, he had one similar to it. He didn't have this
Yeah.
one.
No,
All right.
exactly. Similar, yeah.
But it tells the same story. Basically, what it is, you'll look at, there's an Indian village, and where do Indians always camp out or settle at? Are they normally set near snowbanks, or they settle next to rivers? So as you can see, there's two teepees with a sweat lodge in the middle, and that sweat lodge is very important because that's where one goes in and gets healed, or just gets comfortable in their body and spirit. So you'll see the women there. They're supporting the sweat lodge. Also, the lady in the blue there, she's supporting by taking either fire into the teepee, or she's taking a hot stone. And so what they do is they pour water on the stone. All right, it makes moisture inside the sweat lodge, and then it dries out really quick. And so that's where warm waters halt. And so since these teepees are parked next to a river, they're not far from a river. So beginning where warm waters halt and take it in the canyon down. So when the ritual is over, they open the flap to the sweat lodge and they run and jump into the river, basically take it in the canyon down. Not far, because these sweat lodges aren't far away, but too far to walk again. So that's the whole ritual. That's the whole meaning behind this painting, by using the imagination.
Huh.
So he explains, Forrest was an art dealer. I mean, his clients, spread across the globe. But when somebody buys a specific piece of art, they buy a piece of art because it's telling them a story that relates to their own lives.
Yeah.
And so as you go through the poem, like begin where warm waters halt, that stanza, and taking the canyon down, not far, too far to walk. He's also telling you there's no place to meet. The end is ever drawing nigh. So the final line, the end of the, in my opinion, the end of the poem is the end is ever drawing nigh. But you have to understand it by learning the rest of the poem. So then the next stanza he starts out, there will be, or there'll be. So he's telling you there's going to be more art. There's going to be something else that you need to see. There'll be this, there'll be that. There's this here and there's this there. And so there'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. And so in my opinion, that is the Sacagawea. So Sacagawea, if you look at that line, there'll be no paddle up your creek, because she didn't use a paddle when she was in the Lewis and Clark expedition. She was a poler, or she did poling, and she pushed boats with using poles. That's how they went upriver. That's the only way. You can't paddle up your creek. You can't paddle up the river. You have to pole up the river. So yeah, so she is not only a polar, she was also named the bird woman in one way of spelling Sacagawea with a J. And she was also called the boat pusher. And that's where she is no paddle up the creek. And so and then that line, no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. The word just represents one solid body, or just all in one confined space. Just heavy loads and water high. Heavy loads is Jean Baptiste. And I'll show you the Sacagawea sculpture that I acquired 4 years ago. And you got to understand who the baby is on the back. That's Jean Baptiste. And so I'm going to take you to, oops. So there's the Sacagawea sculpture.
Wow.
All right. He's about as tall as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the back, you will see Jean Baptiste.
Oh yeah.
So you got to understand who Sacagawea, how the imagination of Sacagawea is in the poem. John Baptiste was his middle name is Baptiste, and John is last name is Cabarrou. He was French, and so Baptiste in French means to baptize. In the Bible, it talks about heavy loads at the point of when a child is born with heavy loads, and at the point of baptism, at that moment, the child is born with heavy loads, and he's going to get baptized with water high, because they always poured the water on you when you were getting baptized. Yeah. So now you have just heavy loads and water high. That sound interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard. I mean, I've heard a lot of people's saws, but dude, yours sounds solid, dude. I've never been fond of people's saws. When I just heard yours, I was blown away, and I was like in awe.
Well, yeah, it's just when I read the Too Far to Walk book, right in the center of the book, and I don't have the book here. I got everything in boxes still, because I just moved into a new location. And right in the center of the book, the first line it says on the right hand page, and I don't know, I can't recall what page it was, but it says, "Art is where you find it." Right there, there's the hint. Art is where you find it. So, I don't know. I'm sticking. That's all I got. I have nothing more. I've researched Yellowstone. I researched Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, New Mexico. I started off in New Mexico, and it just didn't seem right. And then I said, I got to follow Forrest. Where did he go? Where did he walk? What did he touch? And so, I found out about the Buffalo Bill Museum, his connections there. Um, then I started interviewing people there, and then I went into Yellowstone. Within a couple hours, I figured, you know what, it can't be in Yellowstone. There's no way, it can't be.
I think
And
he hit it nearby to Don Martinez's old one room tackle shop that was in Cody. That's off
yeah,
that dirt road.
yeah,
That's
I've been
a
all.
location.
I've got aerial views of all around area. I've been up to Spirit Mountain. Never got up to Heart Mountain. But I really like Cody a lot. I really like the people. The people are good. They're friendly. A lot of good fishing in that area. Went down to South Fork. A really cool area. I've never seen so many deer out there. But I think I strongly believe that Forrest was actually talking about in the poem things that you'll find at the museum. But there's one particular little piece of art that you need to pay really attention to. And that's from the line, so why is I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answer's I already know. And he already told you what I was by the Ralph Lauren story. Because he's basically saying that, there's some things that are not for sale. Right there. He's telling you right there in that story. That's the hint. And so that's a line from the actual poem. That's why he called the poem, because he didn't give it a name. He just called it the poem. If it was a story, he would just call it the story. All right. So when people artists, they name things and they don't have anything, and once they're done with that art, they give it a name. If you look at let's take, for instance, a Remington art piece, like the horse and the cowboy, and there's a rattlesnake underneath the horse. The horse is reared up, but he's letting the cowboy know that there's a snake there, and he calls it the rattlesnake. But there's a horse and a cowboy. There's more to it. You got to understanding the feelings of the art, why the artist did what he did, and he does it so in a fashion of using his own mind that he licensed it. They call it artist license. He licensed it because it's a unique design. It's so unique. No, it's one of a kind. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But as for it being in Cody, being in Yellowstone, 99.9%, 99.9999%, it wasn't in Yellowstone.
I agree with you on that one. I don't think it was in Yellowstone. I think it was outside of Yellowstone.
Yeah, because it didn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense that he would, especially where they're talking about now, crossing a river. Forrest said, give the poem to a child. So you give the poem to the child. It's not because the child would interpret what the poem is saying. The child's going to interpret something else, the actual poem, and I know what it is. So that's the poem you give the child, and that's where a child will take its first steps to a good life. That's the whole point. That was his whole point about the chase, is having people get out in nature and start from the beginning and have a good life from there. There wasn't anything. The chase was not about the gold. All right. He stuck that in there, into the book. He just slipped that in there just as part of the other side of an individual or a human being, just to see, what would it take to weed out the good from the bad. And that's all it was. That's all. And because if you think, he just stuck that story right into the book. I mean, there was other fascinating stories he talked about, but a lot of those stories he talks about. So Forrest was a storyteller. He talked about experiences, but it wasn't actually a lot of his experiences. It was actually the experiences of other people that he melded into his own story. He was giving examples, but using his frame of mind only. He was just giving everybody examples. Teachers with ropes. Everybody thinks it's a classroom teacher. There's rope. There's children. He stuck you there. He stuck you in that position that you're in some kind of elementary school, junior high school, crossing the street using ropes, when in fact he's talking about the cowboy way. He's talking about those are the teachers with ropes, the hardworking men that built America. Right? And so that's what I caught out of that story. Everybody caught something else. They're looking at the dress, the flowers, there might be some clue, but I saw right through the whole thing right at the beginning. When I finally went to Wyoming and I started looking, when I looked at that book in different sections again, I've only read that book once in its entirety. And I started looking at that book, things just started coming out. I mean, he talked about Donnie and, as looking like an untipped waiter. That was one hit. The School of Fish, my favorite fishing hole, is different from my favorite secret spot, which is the Yellowstone. But Forrest's favorite fishing hole, if you look at it, the group of fish, what do you call a group of fish? You call them a school. Forrest really enjoyed trying to teach the young children. That was the premise of his book, by showing children art and using their imagination, touching George Washington on the face. What do you feel? What do you see? Every child's going to be different, but it puts them still in the same confines of imagination, not to go beyond that. And so, but that's the way I've seen it ever since 2013. That's the way I've seen it since then. When I saw Ben at Moby Dickens promoting the book, standing outside talking to Christine Preston. I don't think many people know that story. I maybe told a couple of people, but so during that event there at the Collective Works bookstore, I stepped outside to have a cigarette, and here comes Christine, this woman, right up to me and says, "You looking after my car?" I said, "Yeah, I'm making sure nobody takes it." She just laughed. She said, "Well, just keep an eye on it. That's my car." And I said, "Okay." And he says, "So we're talking about." So I said, "Are you going to be looking for the treasure?" And she says, "No, I don't think it'd be fair for the family." I said, "Well, why is that?" She says, "I'm Douglas Preston's wife." So, so now thinking back today, I felt that Douglas or Christine, or Douglas never told Christine, know anything of where the treasure was located.
That's interesting because you might be right. Preston might have known something that none of us ever knew. Maybe pretend. Right. Well, I don't really think he knew the location. If he did, he wouldn't have really gone to search. But maybe his wife might have. I don't know.
Yeah, she is a very nice lady. Christine is a very nice lady. We just stood outside talking. I don't know if she smoked or not. I know she came out just to stand right next to me for some reason. Maybe Forrest sent her out there to say, keep an eye on that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the poem offers a variety of different things to look at. You know, the only thing what's so funny about Jack talking about the Blaze was the fake Blaze and the destroyed, or somebody was talking in the Medium article or on Reddit, you know. The only thing that's changed in my poem is the Blaze. It used to sit in the Brown Garden in the center of the museum. You know where the Brown Garden is?
I think so.
It's between the four museums, and then you have the Plains Indian Museum in the back.
Yeah.
If you walk down that hallway between the museum, on your right is the Brown Garden.
Is that where they kept the eagle now? That's where they got the eagle.
Yeah, that's where they keep the eagle now. Well,
Okay.
that was 3 years ago when they moved it there. But right there, right where the eagle was the buffalo sculpture, buffalo prayer sculpture, and that was there since 1967.
Huh.
You also have the crazy horse sculpture. You also have the unknown sculpture, and you also have the change of seasons sculpture. All right. There's a lot to say about that crazy horse sculpture. I took a picture of my wife took a picture of me sitting next to Crazy Horse in June of 2014. And I thought it was such a cool sculpture. But then when I started reading about it, who Crazy Horse was, then I knew what Forrest meant, take a flashlight and a sandwich. Well, on one side at the base of Crazy Horse, it says, died for his country, or 1877, died for his country. On the other side of the sculpture, at the base, it says American hero. Now you got to know who the history of Crazy Horse, because his father was named Lightning, and when Crazy Horse was young, his mother called him in the forest. Well, his name translated to in the forest. So he was when he's a brave. When Crazy Horse was a brave, his name was in the forest. And as he got older, to become a warrior, he took his dad's name, Lightning. Then he became Crazy Horse and became a chief. So Forrest talks in his book about Lightning, where his horse couldn't get out of his own way, and he didn't understand that. You remember?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I put those two together. So what's a take a flashlight? What's a flashlight? A lightning. What's a sandwich? American hero. Take a flashlight and a sandwich. So the word "and" is very important in the poem. It's the word "and," the way Forrest uses it, is melding two different imaginary thoughts, but they all represent the same thing. So when you have something, if you are brave and in the wood, that word "and" brings together two imaginary thoughts to represent one. That's what that's what Forrest was doing in the poem, in my opinion. And so so you look at the other pieces of the poem, look at the word and how he's using it. Just think about it. It's two imaginary ideas melded into one. That's what the word "and" means. And so I had this all figured out before I met Forrest in October 2016, when he invited me to his house. And because I told him me and the wife were down at the Laguna Pueblo Sunday. We went to church there on the Pueblo, and I got back to my RV, and I emailed Forrest, hey, we're having a great time. We're here at the Laguna Pueblo. And Forrest knew I was from Colorado Springs. He says, well, if you go through Santa Fe on the way back to Colorado Springs, drop by my house. I said, okay, we'll be there around noon. And sure enough, we got there right at noon to his house. And so, yeah, he's quite a character. You got to watch his words. I mean, he can look stone cold, have a stone cold look, and tell you something, and he's giving you, he's joking with you. You know, he'll say things and it just fly right over your head. But I remember the things he told me. I remember exactly what he tells me. And then it'd take me about a month or two. I said, well, Forrest said this. Then I got to thinking, oh shit, he was joking with me. He was laughing. He was making fun. He was making it funny. That's what he was doing. He was making it funny. Just like when we were at February 2017, he comes up to me. I had a hot dog and a few chips on my plate, and he pulls a chip off my plate and he says, oh, so you're the moderator, you know? And I got to thinking, what do you mean I'm the moderator? I'm thinking, I know I do a lot on the blogs, and I try to calm things down. Is he talking that I'm the moderator at that point, moderating the blogs? Well, it took me about a month, and I got to thinking about it, looking at that picture that somebody took, and it didn't dawn on me, since I'm a big guy, all right, and I only had one hot dog and a few chips on my plate. He calls me the moderator. I was in moderation. So he was making it funny. That's what he was doing. It was a trip. But yeah, I'm just waiting to see. You know, I couldn't believe what I heard last night. I said everything was just flying off the walls. You know, plaster was coming off, this, that, and the other, and people are saying things, emails, visuals. Nobody has 100% proof of what's going on. Not one person has anything. Not one. You have to have concrete, undisputable evidence to support your fact. And if you don't have that, then you have nothing. You know, well, I got an email from so-and-so. Well, I tell you, if you got an email from so-and-so, you tell so-and-so to email me, give me their username and password, and tell me what date and time that I need to look at an email. I'll open that email. I won't touch anything else or open anything else or put it in a folder. And I'll go into your email database. I'll look at that, and I'll pull every piece of data off that email and see where it's coming from and who is it coming from, and if it's factual. That's the only way. There's no other way. People say, well, I got this. No, there's no other way. You have to allow me to go in there and get that email. And I you know what? I mean, I can right now, I'll promise anybody, I will not attempt to discredit anybody or try to do anything else with their emails. No, they can change the password after I leave. Once I grab that email, then I have enough evidence to prove that you're right. But beyond that, there's nothing. You can, you know, I don't get what people are thinking. They says, well, I got this, you know, you don't got nothing. Let me into your server and let me check. You know, I even promised Jenny Kyle, I was doing her IT for her website.
Yeah.
And I promised her, I said, I'm not going to touch anything. I'm not going to go look at all your emails, all the accounts or anything. That's none of my business. I'm here to help you get your site back up and running. And it was crashing. So me and my team, we went in there and fixed all the problems. But yeah, it's just fascinating that I don't know why people are doing that. I really don't. And I even saw the little email that Chasing Indy put up a screenshot of a picture of an email. That's so vague. It doesn't make sense. I read it. It's vague. Well, they're comparing it to another piece that was written in red. No, that's still vague. Somebody could have just generated that out of the blue and just made it up. I mean, or they're the same person that are trying to try to, play a small game in the chase. And there's a lot of people that are playing games. I can tell you that. Even I knew Christy was sent down a rabbit hole with that GPS saw. I know things, but I was going to say that, I'm going to let you guys eat crow.
Yeah. Yeah, when that GPS all came out, I was like, oh God, she's about to put herself where she shouldn't be.
Yeah, they're risking their, if they want to create a career doing YouTube channels, they're risking their career. You don't want to do that. You don't want to jeopardize anything. You got to have solid fact. Just because, well, so I believe this person, it's fact. No, it's not. You never believe anybody else. You never, ever, ever believe anybody else. You either see it with your own eyes or you touch it with your own hands. That's the only way things will work in this world. I'm a businessman, and I have strict rules for myself, and I watch everything, and I make sure everything's on the up and up. I got customers that contact me, hey, we want to buy this, we want to ship this here. And I said, well, send me your information. I get their information. I do a background check, see who they are. I contact my associates and let them know this person wants to buy this piece of equipment. And do you know them? Have you dealt with them? Do they pay on time? Do this, that, and the other? And so I have to do due diligence on my part, especially when it involves, my livelihood of running the business. I earned a lot of respect in my business because I'm honest, I'm fair. I help all these medical centers out, trying to get them back online. And, I don't want to cheat anybody out. That's not what I was here to, that's not who I am. My dad taught me that. He taught me, if it doesn't look right, just leave it alone. And I've done that a lot. We only got 3 people watching, Tyler.
Yeah, I don't have many people that are usually on my channel. Suppose there are 8 people watching, but I don't know who all is chatting or not.
What happened to Candy?
She said she would be back in 10 minutes, and I said told her to watch. It's gonna be 30 minutes to an hour later. She had to go make a phone call or something. I don't know.
Yeah. They got to
like
really, they got to be really careful what they say and how they say things. I mean, there's time for, we can joke around and play, poke a little fun at people, but then, at the end of the day, that's all it was fun. But when you try to brand an idea in someone's mind, it's not going to work.
No, it's not.
It's not going to work. But I don't know. I haven't been online in a long time.
She just now texted me.
She said, you need to get your dick off.
Yeah, Candy just texted me and said sorry.
No. But I tell you what, and you know what, Candy's young, you're young. There's a lot of people that voice a lot and they're young in the chase. Well, I think once you get older, you become wiser and you understand a lot of things. You understand how life really works. Right now, at your age, you're ready to, kick the ball around and see where it lands. But where it lands is where the wisdom lies, and you'll pick it up and run with that once it finds a good spot. But you gain wisdom as you get older. That's why, I find it I find it interesting today's world with kids, the way they treat their parents or grandparents. It's heartbreaking. It's
Yeah, it
very
is.
heartbreaking. But you need to show your respect to your elders. You really do, because they're the ones that already been through this rodeo. And so the kids need to listen to their parent, especially the grandparents. They need to listen and they need to listen to the grandparents. I think that's really important.
Yeah,
I
I've
know.
always listened to my grandfather because he's always gave me advice, and if there's something I've done wrong, like like if I see him again next day or sometime next week, he'll usually have us sit down, and talk about it.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
yeah,
You always get good advice from your grandparents. I never had my grandparents. I mean, I had my grandfather passed away when I was on my dad's side, on my birthday, my second birthday, 1960. He came to visit me, brought me a gift, was going back home, and he ran off the road and hit a culvert and died.
damn,
That was on my birthday, my second birthday. Yeah. I never knew my grandmother, my dad's side grandmother passed away before I was born. And my mom's side, my mom was adopted. I still had grandparents, very old Spanish style upbringing. Um, but all I remember is my grandmother chasing me with a broom when I got out of hand.
I can recall that my dad, and whenever I was in trouble, he chased me up because he knows I wasn't gonna go anywhere near him when he was trying to spank me. I was like, nope, you have to come catch me first.
Yeah,
So I can
yeah.
relate to him.
But I had good vision because I can see my grandmother coming right out the corner of my eye when she was going to come and swat me with that broom. That was funny. But,
Yeah, usually like I'm good with keen vision, but like if I'm in the zone, that's your best time to give me a jump scare or something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I'm out of it and I'm just in space. I'm like, and all of a sudden someone come up behind me. Oh shoot! So yeah, dude.
yeah. It's just important to you know you have a long life ahead of you, Tyler. Is do the right thing. Uh, you know, just just keep the just keep just keep aware of what's going on in your life. You know, and don't let it get you down. Just live each day with courage, and it'll get better. It'll get better for you. I I didn't know when I lost my job in 2006 what I was going to do. I visioned what I wanted to do, and I spent 2 years dumpster diving, looking for things in dumpsters and selling it on eBay, and I built a business, a very lucrative business out of it. So it's just follow your passion, what you know. I guess you do a lot with coins and everything. Just keep on at it. It could become very lucrative for you in the future.
For sure.
Just people should stick with that. Nowadays, well, even with this COVID, the last couple of years, people don't want to work. They're getting free government money and all this. And now what? They take the money away and they don't know what to do. And
Yeah, I've never believed in running off government money. I don't believe that. My girlfriend was like, "Well, we can run on government money for a child." I'm like, babe, I'm not doing that. I want to earn my money and not rely on the government for money." So
right. Yeah, it takes a lot of hard work, and save for the future, invest in the future. Right now at your age, my dad used to tell me the same thing when I was your age. He says, "Hey, there's this land here for $500 an acre." I said, yeah, Dad, I'm gonna go drinking. You know, and now that land is worth 20,000 an acre, if not more by now. Last couple of years.
But feed my dog. Wasn't meant to do it, but I got sidetracked.
Yeah. So I've been trying to get my computer. I got another computer. I'm gonna be doing streaming soon, and I got another computer, and for some reason it's acting up on me. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I had to download Zoom, but I forgot I didn't have no audio, no mic or headphones on the computer. So that's why I couldn't talk to you. So I had to revert to my phone.
Gotcha.
Well, is there anything you want to talk about, or any interest of knowing more? I don't know a whole lot about Sharp. The only thing I know about Sharp is that when I met with the curator in June of 2014, and I talked to him, I said, "Hey, can we go in there and take a look around?" She says, "No, that's not allowed." And I said, "Okay." So I said, "So tell me, what's the connection with? You know any more about connection Forrest and in the cabin?" And she says, "Well, I know that in 2004, Forrest came here and he wasn't very happy. He took everything that he wanted to get out of the cabin and said, 'Here, this is yours. This cabin now belongs to you.' And but supposedly there was a lot of shit going down with Forrest in the museum in 2004. That's the only thing I know. I didn't know anything about the hammer that was under the floorboards until later. I have a lot of photographs. Now, like this one painting right here with the teepees and the sweat lodge. It's called "Preparing for the Medicine Sweat." That's what it's called, by Joseph Stark. And so, how I found out about this painting is on in the Sharp cabin on the desk. Do you remember seeing all those papers on the desk?
I believe so, yeah.
I zoomed in and I photographed them.
I should have done that.
And one of them was a bill of sale for this particular painting. It said right there, preparing for the medicine sweat. That's how I caught onto it. That's how I started understanding more about art, because I wanted to know what that was all about.
Yeah, I always took a curiosity and that throw the chase cover photo where he's standing near the irrigation pipe. I figured somehow in some way it was gonna be incorporated with the poem, something like that.
Yeah, I don't.
Curious.
I haven't looked at the front cover in a while. Once I don't know where my books are at. They're in here somewhere. But the book talks. The front cover, if I remember, that's him next to the sign that said water.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
And there's I think was his plane, or I can't remember.
Yeah, his plane. Yeah, I think it looks like he's Air Force.
Right. What was the third one?
The third one was with him and the two horses overlooking the.
Oh yeah.
And I think that was during his expedition with Johnny.
Looking for Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
So the hint in that book, that particular story, was a title, "Looking for Lewis and Clark." Who was looking for Lewis and Clark? Is the question. Sacagawea was looking for Lewis and Clark. She was her guide.
I guess so.
Yeah, that she was her guide. I've been to her gravesite up in the Shoshone reservation. I got some really cool stories, though. I'm not ready to tell about Forrest's friends. You know, they were telling me about a lot of stuff, and I got interviews I still got to get together, and hopefully I'll bring those to light soon. I'll be doing a lot of traveling in the next couple of months for doing these interviews. So.
In the backyard, maybe, Sarah?
You know, you want to know something else that's funny?
Go for it.
So I was online looking at different pieces of art, and I stopped off at this website that sold estate sales.
Yeah.
And one of the things that were in that estate sale was the book, The Thrill of the Chase.
Woo.
And it was owned by Gene Thal. So I bought the book. Well, first off, the auction was over. So I called them. I says, you know, can I still purchase that book? He said, oh yeah, we'll sell it to you for $100. I said, okay, I'll buy it. Well, in that book, Forrest wrote an inscription to Gene Thal, to Gene, who knows the thrill of the chase better than anyone. All right. And I got that book. And so I started researching who Gene Thal was. And Gene Thal was an art collector because he loved art that connected to his life. He liked art. He'd buy expensive art too. And so, and then it turns out Forrest writes something about Gene Thal in the Once Upon a While book. Do you remember that?
It's been a long time since I read that. Like, I think it was sometime
It's
this
in the
past
front
year.
of the book. The first page, I think he talks about Gene Thal. I said, what the heck? How can this be? You know, what's he trying to say? And I really think Once Upon a While talks about is basically he's paralleling the stories to some of the searchers. I think the one about Geronimo is about me because I go by the name Geldelkin, and Geldelkin was an Indian scout for the U.S. military trying to look for Geronimo.
Huh.
He was hunting Geronimo. That's where that name came from. And I think Once Upon a While are stories that he wrote as close as he could to get to what he was trying to identify a searcher. So I don't know how many chapters are in that book, but he's talking about those searchers. And there's something very unique about each of those stories that relates to a searcher, just like the Geronimo story. You know, I'm an Indian scout and the same. You know, Geronimo was being chased by Geldelkin. In one of his last interviews, if you look, the camera was panning around, and on the book, on next to his chair, was a book called, I think it was called Apache Gold. Since Geronimo was an Apache, I grew up with the Apaches. You know, they were, I grew up, I have a lot of good friends that are Apaches. They're the coolest and funniest people I've ever met. We used to go fishing a lot on the Apache reservation. My dad and I would he'd take me up in one of the creeks up there. You didn't even have to put bait on the hook. They'd take the hook. That was my favorite fishing home. My dad's special spot. I mean, literally the fish were right there. You just stick your line in, bang. You caught a trout.
I mean, I used to fish all the time too, but it was mainly for like bass and catfish and stuff like that. You know, they usually go deep sea fishing in the ocean.
Yeah, I've never been deep fishing, but I've done a lot of catfish and bass fishing. I used to live off the Tennessee River up in Alabama, and go fishing every single day. Right after work, I had my pole in the back of my truck, got a bag of plastic worms, and I'd go bumping the bottoms of the backwaters looking for bass. That was a lot of fun. I might go. I'm getting ready. I'm going to go ice fishing here in a couple of months, 3
Well, that's
months.
something fun.
Yeah, do some ice fishing.
My next agenda, because I mean, I've always loved fishing, so I figured, you know, why not learn how to fly fish? You know, and maybe down the road, if I'm good at it, you know, maybe even create my own like tackle shop for fly fishing, do a tour guide type of, you know, career job.
Yeah, the young man that was working for me for over 2 years. He left to go work with his dad about 6 months ago, and he called me the other day. He says, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" He says, "I got my fishing guide license." I said, "That's cool." I says, "Now, you know, when you're ready, we're gonna go fishing." I said, "Sure. Let me get through this move first. I've got stuff still in boxes I need to unpack." So he's really good. He's really good. He knows all the good spots up there here in Colorado.
I was in Colorado, I think in August, because we had to fly from Colorado to, we were supposed to fly to Cody, Wyoming, but they canceled our flight to Cody like twice, 2 days in a row. So
Yeah.
we instead flew over to Billings, Montana, had to drive 2 hours over to Cody from Montana. So yeah, we were in Denver, Colorado, and it was something else. It was a trip.
Hmm. So what are you planning to go back to Cody someday?
I want to go back to Cody. If I go back to Cody, I know my parents want to go back to Yellowstone because we were supposed to go be in Cody for a little bit, and then like the last 2 days in while in Cody was going to be over at Yellowstone, but we never got to make that trip to Yellowstone because I ended up testing positive for COVID while I was in Cody, so we had to come all the way back here via vehicle.
Yeah.
So
So did you, as you left Cody going to Yellowstone, about, I don't know, halfway to the gate there, out in the field, did you see that?
no, we
That
never went to Yellowstone. We were supposed to, but
no?
we never did.
Oh, I thought maybe you'd been up close to it.
No, I've never been to Yellowstone. We were supposed to, but I tested positive for COVID like the day
Yeah.
before we were supposed to go to Yellowstone. So my parents had to turn around and go straight back to North Carolina in a vehicle or in a car.
Oh.
It
Yeah,
was rough.
let's see. On the way to Cody, on the way to Yellowstone, there's out in the field, if you look to your left, I can't recall where it is, but there's uh, a sculpture out there with, and I can't remember if it was Big Boy Hamburgers or whatever, holding up a hamburger in the air. It's out in the field there. I thought that was interesting. I think that's Forrest is talking to, in general, the area, but I just don't see Yellowstone being part of the solve.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to, because I know it's gonna be. My parents want to go back to Yellowstone, or want to go back to Wyoming for Yellowstone, but they're like, we're not going back to Cody. But I'm gonna try to somehow force them just to go for like a few hours, so we can visit that spot over Whitehaven and see if that's a legit area. If it is, then I'll take pictures and put them up publicly on YouTube, like live streamers, whatever you want to call it. To
Did
get it out.
did you go out to the scout sculpture outside?
Outside the museum?
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe so.
yeah. If you go up on top and you're looking at Cody on the horse has one leg up. Cody, that represents that Cody died of natural causes. When there's two front legs up, this that represents that he died in battle. So that horse only has one leg up. Way back when, and I can't remember what year, probably in the 40s, I think, somebody stole the stirrup off that horse, off Cody. And this guy had to figure out how to weld another stirrup back onto the boot. But if you climb up there and you look down off what Cody is looking at, because he's looking down, right?
Yeah.
He's looking at 4 sets of horseshoe prints. All right. Those horseshoe prints represent there is no human trail within close proximity, but there is a horse trail. That's what those footprints represent. It's yeah, let's see, download it. What the heck? Yeah. I got a lot of stories to say. I just haven't had time to tell anybody. The heck. Well, Tyler, I'm going to jump off. Thanks for inviting me on.
Not a problem. It's finally good to see you face to face.
Yeah, I need to go home and take a nap. I'm getting old. No, I gotta go get some parts. Yeah, shit, it never ends.
No, it doesn't.
All right, sir. Thanks again. You have a good weekend. We'll talk to you later.
Definitely. You take care. Peace out.
You too. Bye. So we turn this damn thing off. Still trying to figure out how to turn this thing off.
It should be leave meeting or something like that.
Oh yeah, I found it.
Yeah. There we go. Candy, come on. I'm using quote. She get killed. And she's like, I'm aware how to use that quote. I want to see what she says. I just dropped the bottle. It might be a little dust on it too. I wish it was color. Mm. Is J.K. Pioneer still here? Hell? Let's see what she says. Because I know. If I can figure out. Sweet. Don't hurt the guitar, damn it. What's it doing? I don't know what the hell it's doing. My thumb hurts. I'm a piece of shit. I need to stop it so bad. listen. So many extra student. Needs to get another nice overweight candidate. No, but you know. I'm gonna do top of that or actually getting down my anyways, y'all stay cool, stay classy, and as always, y'all be sweet. I'm out.